Hey, what's up, guys? It's Bakes here with day number 22 of my 31 Days of Horror. Today's movie is one that I haven't watched in, I don't know, maybe like 5 years or so. And it's weird that it's actually been so long because this is a movie I've always enjoyed. I've seen it a handful of times and always had a blast watching this one. It's a lot of fun. So I don't know why I haven't checked it out in so long, but I actually remember the first time I saw this movie, I was really impressed by it. It caught me off guard by how good it actually was, just sort of off the title and I guess the premise. You think it wouldn't be that amazing, but I had a blast every time I've watched this movie, and even rewatching it for this review, had so much fun. So today's film is from 2002, and it's Ghost Ship. So before I get into my thoughts of this movie, we'll quickly get into the plot. So in this film, we have this salvage crew. What they do is they go out into the ocean, pull boats up from the ocean floor or ghost ships that are floating around. They take them in and make some money. They get a tip that there's this ghost ship out in the ocean, so they go out there to check it out. And it turns out it's this famous ship that all the salvage crews have been looking for. Like no one's been able to find it, and now they have. So obviously, just off that alone, they think they're going to make a lot of money. But aboard is also tons of gold, so they're like, we're going to be rich. But it turns out this ghost ship isn't completely abandoned because it is also haunted. So I'm going to kind of leave the plot there, but let's get into my thoughts of 2002's Ghost Ship. So I think a good place to start with this movie is what you could call its iconic opening sequence, because I really think it is. When people bring up Ghost Ship, most people are saying, how cool is that opening sequence, because it really is awesome. It sort of just leaves your jaw on the floor. It has blood, it's fun, it's actually brutal as well. It just sort of has everything, and it's a great way to start off the movie. As I said, most people remember Ghost Ship because of the opening sequence, but even before we get to that opening sequence, I even love the opening credits and the title sequence. It gives this vintage classic cinema feel, like all the studio logos that come through before the title sequence. They all have this retro look to them. I really like that. But then when the names come up and the title of the movie, it's in this fancy pink font. Just everything about this intro I really love. This movie just in general is so much fun. The characters are awesome. The haunting stuff going aboard, it's so much fun. Like the food looks like really yummy, but then it turns out to be maggots and it's rotting and whatever. In these haunted house movies, there always seems to be this hot ghost, and then they fall out of their trance and she's really fucked up and ugly. The environment changing around them. It's just got all the typical fun shit that you see in a haunted house movie, just on a boat, which makes it 10 times cooler for some reason. And this movie flies by, like you blink and it's over. It's just so watchable and it's never boring, it never becomes uninteresting. This movie just flies by. And yeah, as I said, it's been a little while since I last watched this movie, but man, I just had a blast. And now going back to a point I briefly brought up before, but I really love the crew of characters that we get in this movie. They're all just really likable, and you can really believe that it's like this makeshift family, like this salvage crew. They all know their jobs. Maybe they don't always see eye to eye, but they love each other and they know how to get the job done, and they all want the best for each other. I just really like the characters in this movie, and that's why you really feel bad for them at like a certain point halfway through this movie. I'm going to sort of talk about it actually. It's like this really bleak defeat and like momentum change. As I said, they come across this boat and they're like, oh, this is fucking awesome because everyone's been looking for this boat. It's been missing for like decades, I think they say. So they jump aboard and they think, okay, this is like our future's made already. And then they find gold and they're like, even fucking better. And they have to decide, are we going to take the boat or the gold? They go, let's do the gold. And you go, is anything bad going to happen? Like, yes, there's been a few haunting moments and whatever, a few ghosts in the background and whatnot. But nothing too major. And you're like, these guys have like the best job ever. They're going to be fucking millionaires. And then it goes fucking bang, and this whole momentum shift happens, and that's when the spooky shit really kicks in, and you really feel bad for these characters because they thought they were gonna make it fucking big. It's such a kick in the nuts, but then the movie just somehow becomes funner. This movie is so fucking awesome, with it's little twists and turns that happens, which I guess I'll go into in a little bit deeper detail as we go in this review. But yeah, the characters, you really feel for them. They're all really likable, so that was also a positive in this movie. So I guess now's a good time to get into a little bit more detail with the twists and turns in this movie, because this movie does finish off with a really cool twist. At least in my opinion, it's really cool. I find it to be really underrated as well. You know, as I said, most people, when they're talking about Ghost Ship, they're talking about the opening sequence or maybe a few other points, but no one talks about the twist in this movie, and I just find it to be so fucking fun. It is a little bit out there, but then again, we're dealing with a haunted ship, so I don't think it really fucking matters. But as I said, I find it to be really underrated, super fun, and it kind of makes sense as well. It's easy to make sense because, as I said, we're dealing with a haunted ship movie. You know, if this movie was grounded deep into reality and this was the twist, you'd be like, what the fuck? But it's a haunted ship, so, you know, you can suspend your disbelief a little bit. But what I mean by it makes sense is you look back at the events through the movie and you go, yep, okay, fair enough. And I also feel like it catches you off guard because it almost feels like this movie could work without a twist. And I didn't feel like anything was coming. Maybe I'm dumb. Let me know in the comments if you saw the twist coming from a mile away. But I just feel like the movie would work even without a twist. But then once that twist hits, it's just super fun. As I said, I feel like it's iconic to the movie. I love the twist at the end. But yeah, that's one thing, another reason to stick around and watch the whole movie if you're not already strapped in through the first 80 minutes of it, really. So if you are a regular on my channel, you guys would know I'm not the biggest fan of demonic possession, paranormal, supernatural, haunted house movies typically. I just find them to all sort of be the same, you know, copy and paste of each other, especially ones coming out, you know, in the past decade or so. In a time where demonic possession movies are the most common things coming out for horror audiences, this movie just made me really miss a good old ghost story, you know, a haunted house film. It's because demonic possession movies are like guaranteed money makers, you know, when they hit cinemas. And I feel like ghost haunted house movies can be seen as a little bit more cheesy, and I feel like that's why they've sort of been pushed aside and outshadowed by demonic possession movies as of recent times. But I really feel like if this movie was more of a conventional haunted house movie rather than, you know, a haunted ship, more people would talk about this movie as being like a great haunted house movie or ghost movie. But as I said, because it's set on a ship and I don't know, maybe it doesn't cross people's mind when you think haunted house or ghost film. But as I said, I feel like a lot of people would think of this as like a great modern, if you want to say modern 2002, haunted house slash ghost movie, because this movie is just so much fucking fun. As I said, it's so rewatchable. As I said in my intro, I can't believe it had been 5 years or so since I last checked out this movie. I always knew how fun it was, but for some reason just haven't checked it out in a long time, but had a blast. The characters are great. The scares are fun. You know, it's not an overly scary movie. It's like kind of just more popcorn flick, but this movie's just so fucking awesome. If you haven't seen Ghost Ship or just haven't seen it in a while, just trust me, go back and check out this movie because it's super fucking fun. To give it a rating, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really close to a 9. Fuck, I might even give it a 9. Why not? Because Ghost Ship is just so much fun. I almost just want to rewatch it now. It was super awesome. But if you've seen Ghost Ship, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I also know a lot of people have been doing their own 31 Days of Horror, or, you know, just because it is the Halloween season, been busting out more horror movies than what they normally do. So let me know what you've been watching in the month of October in the comments below. Maybe if a movie sticks out to me, I might chuck it in my roster for the 31 days or what I have left of it. But I'll see you tomorrow for day number 23, guys, and thank you for watching day number 22. Peace.